Alright, I got one of my normal Kenyan sand boa females. Let's see if we can get her to eat. She's poking her little head out. She's interested. There we go. What I like to do, because I don't like them to get bedding on it, is let them wrap it, and then I take them out and put them on the lid. That way, once again, I can go through, get any poop that I might have missed throughout the week, refill her water, and then I just go ahead, I'm going to set her up on top of it. And these guys like to hold for a little while. Oh. She's spazzing a little bit. Okay, so if they drop it, let's see if we can get you to turn over. If they drop it, basically, I just grab the mouse, steer the head towards her, boom. And she's going to take this. Since she's a little bit bigger, what I do is instead of feeding a bigger mouse, is I'm just going to train this one. So that way when she's getting done eating the first one, I'll just hold the head of the second one, and then she'll just kind of start working on to the second one. So give her a few minutes, and I'll go ahead and show that. It's just sometimes when you give them big meals, they puke, and I don't like that. So try to avoid it. I've had pretty good success with just giving the bigger ones 2 or sometimes 3 like hopper-sized mice instead of like one large mouse or a medium-sized mouse. Makes it a little bit easier. So I'll go ahead and move her off to the side. We'll come back to her in a minute or two once she's getting done with this one. And let's go ahead and pull. Okay, this is another good one. This is my striped Kenyan het albino named Bitey for a very good reason. She is very aggressive. Sometimes I think she's nice when she got her little head popping out. I think she's nice, but then when I go to try and hold her, she is actually just trying to trick me, and she's wrapping my fingers with her tail, that way she can actually come back and get to me. There we go. And I just lift them up, put them on the lid. Sometimes I get those tongues pretty good. There we go, she's got that one good. Go through, make sure. Any poops? I missed a little bit. She's going pretty good with that one. They like to wrap and spaz pretty good. So like I said, she's my striped. Had her for going on about 4 years. She might be ready to breed this year. Pretty excited. This is going to be my first year adventuring with the Kenyans and breeding or mating. So I'm sure it'll be a little bit of a learning curve there, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? Yeah, a lot of times they just hold it, they expect live, and they just hold it for a minute or two, and then they realize it's not moving, they start chomping away. So she's making pretty good progress here. Probably about another minute or so. I'll give her another one. I'm sure everybody knows the most recommended size for a snake is about the thickness of their body. If you go above that, you just run into the potential problem of it being too big and it rotting inside their belly, and then they puke it a few days later, partially digested. Which, if you have a collection of snakes, I'm sure you're used to, which can smell pretty awful. I know within probably about an hour or so of when one of mine pukes, so, and I can smell it all the way upstairs. It smells pretty awful. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to, what I call, train one mouse to the the other mouse. That way, instead of trying to have her bite, wrap, and go through that whole process again. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't want to spook you, honey. I just hold it still in her mouth, and then basically once she gets that one good bite, and she's working on this one now, and once her teeth really kind of get to it, then you can kind of relax, put it back down, and she'll just keep working it. There we go. There, she's got that one now. So if you're feeding frozen thods, it makes it a little bit easier, especially with the Kenyans that like to go through the whole process of biting, wrapping. And if you want to save a little bit of time, because these guys can sometimes take forever, but if you want to save a little bit of time, just put the head of the second one at the butt of the first one, hold it there in place, and they'll just kind of work their way down and they'll grab it, and to them it's just like they're eating one long mouse. So I'll let her finish up, see how this one's doing. Well, she's about halfway. She'll probably be ready in about a minute or so. Go ahead and grab the tongs. There we go. She's a nice thick snake. She hasn't missed many meals since I've had her. Every once in a while, if it gets a little cool in here, the Kenyans can be a little stubborn. They like it a little hotter, so in the winter months here in Wisconsin, it gets a little cooler, especially in the basement. I keep the room at about 80 during the summers, and in the winter sometimes I'll get down to the 75s, but they still got heat cord, so some of them will still eat. She's getting her tail a little bit. Come on. But she didn't get the name Bitey for being timid. It seems like she's got it. That should be a nice little meal for her. This works also, especially if you have one that is a little finicky and maybe you got to feed live, but you don't have as easy access to live and you have more of a supply of frozens. This way you can feed them the live that they prefer, and once they're getting done sucking the first one down, then you can go ahead and supplement some frozens in there. I do the same thing with my hogs for when I'm trying to get some off of scented. I'll start with a scented mouse, and then the second one will be unscented. That way they kind of finish up their eating with unscented. So then they start to kind of learn that, and then they come off with scented pretty quick when you do that. Oh, she's probably gonna be done before her. Oh, she's still working a little bit. But then usually what I do when I'm not making a video is I just set these guys on their lids and kind of organize them on the floor. That way on my table space I can put a new one, get it started feeding, put it on the ground, kind of set it to the side because they take a few minutes. And then I can go through and I can have all my Kenyans eating on their lids, and then it's just a waiting game instead of waiting for it to finish before you put it away. And this guy's just about gone. And down it goes. She's looking a little hazy, so she's probably going to shed in a little while. Perfect. Doesn't get any better than that.